Hello from ColDesi, Mark Vila here to talk about the POW line of dryers for ColDesi DTF printers. This specific line is for 24-inch models of direct-to-film printers, and you're gonna love everything that you have to see here. So let's take a couple minutes and see how it works. All right, so the first thing that we're going to look at is as the film is entering into the dryer. I'll just refer to it as a dryer from here on out, but this is an applicator, dryer. It does all of the process post-print. I'll just use the word dryer to keep it short. So the first step that we have is as your film is getting printed out, there is a sensor towards the bottom. Now this sensor is looking for film to make sure that the proper amount of film is there to go into the next step. If there's not, the unit would pause and let you know that it's paused and it's not ready to go. As soon as the printer were to catch up, it would go ahead and resume. The next step is there is a short preheat area. This is making sure that the ink is properly gelled to receive your powder, so just to the right temperature. Moving to the next step, you're gonna see our powder chamber. This is gonna store all of our excess DTF powder that's ready to be dropped into the application area. Moving into the application area, you'll see that towards the bottom there is where we are holding all of the powder. This is being applied directly to your gelled ink. And this is a weighted system. So when you run out of powder or the weight gets too low, it will go ahead and drop it from the chamber above that I showed you before. The next is the shaking. So there's a bar over on this side you see is kind of shaking, and this is knocking off any excess powder so we don't have any powder that's not properly attached to the gelled ink before it goes into our curing belt. The beginning of the curing belt has a vacuum, so it's going to hold this really tight, maintain tension. And as we get to the end of the unit, there's a couple things happening back here. For one, we've got another vacuum that is holding tension. For two, we've got some fans that are going to cool down the transfer after it's been cured. It's going to prevent it from being sticky, so it can go into the last stage and actually roll up and get a good tight roll to move on to the next step in your printing process. The last bit I want to show you is the touchscreen LCD. So here we are at our control panel, and as you can see, there are touchscreen buttons for all of the different functions and features. So we can turn the heat on, we can turn the heat off. We can turn that fan we talked about before on. And we can make it feed and turn on the heat. Maybe in the beginning when you're starting up, you may just go ahead and turn the heat and the feed on to get started. You can also turn the roll. That's for in the back, actually. That controls the back. You're going to see our dusting. That's going to actually push powder into and onto the film. And shaking. Now the shaking's not going to work because the door's open, but if it were shut, it would begin shaking. And then last but not least, we've got the auto connect, and when we turn it on auto, it goes into that automatic mode that we discussed in the beginning of this video. Well, I hope you learned some good stuff about the POW dryer, or I should say dryer, shaker, applicator, duster, roller, right? It does everything all in one. It's one of my favorite units to work with. It is just so intuitive. The touchscreen panel is pretty self-explanatory. It took me about 4 minutes to learn how to operate it. And the film that comes out, the transfers that are completed are just amazing. They are soft, lightweight, it doesn't apply an excess amount of powder. They are cured to perfection every single time, and the automated features are great. That's what I like about it, is I can be in here doing some test runs, doing some filming, and I see this little light pop on that tells me, oh, I need some attention, I need to add some more powder, or something is going on, or my printer stopped printing and it's ready for additional attention there. So a ton of great things about it, very easy to use, and an absolute favorite of the ColDesi team. Thanks for watching.